The last time I was consistently on social media and like posting and everything, liking others' photos, commenting, was when I graduated high school. So this is coming up on 4 years now. I'm about to graduate college now. Um, and the reason that I quit was not because I was on some self-improvement grind or anything. I was honestly ahead of my time on this one, but I quit just because I realized that this is like really draining on me. Like I realized that social media was not that fun for me to be on. I didn't get that much out of it, and I felt worse every time I used it rather than better. And so I just didn't use it. And I've kind of gone back and forth on and off of it for um, maybe using it again for like 2 weeks at a time within the past 4 years or so, but I've never like been completely back on it and trying to get shit out of it unless it's been something with my music career, which I have posted a few times to hype up album releases and that kind of stuff. But other than that, I have been sober from social media for like 4 years. That's crazy. That's crazy for me to think about. But I want to tell you what I've learned. So the first thing is that these apps are hella addicting, right? They were made to be addicting. I notice how much people are on their phones now. Like if I am in conversation with somebody, it's rare for me to be in a conversation with someone, honestly, where they are not, like where they don't check their phone or whether they don't um, even like pick up their phone to look at something. Because these social media apps are addicting. And now anytime your phone vibrates, you're like, oh, what the fuck's going on? Is that something? Who's vibrating my phone? I sound like a fucking boomer right now. I know, it's fine. I'll accept it. But people are on their phones much more and much less present in conversations than they would be otherwise. And I think social media is partly to blame. Maybe this is also just because of generally how phones are. People wanting to check text messages, that kind of thing. But I think social media has a huge part in like spiking our dopamine, because that's exactly what they're built to do, is spiking our dopamine every time we go on them, and then we crave that and come back over and over and over. And these apps also suck because they prey on like your fear of missing out, right? Because honestly, I have missed out from not being on social media for so long. Like I don't know all of my friends' updates. I don't always see whenever shit's happening. But I don't really feel like I've missed out that much, because if something is important, people will tell me. Like if there's something coming up that I need to know about, my friends will let me know. If there's something big in the news that's happening, people will let me know. And these apps also suck because you can spend hours and hours every day on them without realizing. And I'm sure a lot of you watching this video probably do. And that's okay. But if you want to change your habits and be able to use those hours more productively, keep watching this video. I think that what I also have realized is that social media has become a crutch for social skills and actually living. And this is something that I've tried to combat over the past 4 years, because once I got out of high school, I had this mindset of backstory. I was not very popular in high school. I was a typical gamer boy and didn't have very many friends. In fact, all of my friends graduated before I graduated, and for a solid year, I didn't really have any friends in school to talk to. Like I had a few people I would be courteous to, but no people that I would just hang out with on a day-to-day basis. Like no besties, no boys, if you will. And so I swore to myself that once I go into college, I'm going to be different. I'm going to be the outgoing social guy who makes friends and actually lives a life worth living. Who goes out and does fun shit, who goes and fucks up some night drives, you know, the person who goes on spontaneous adventures to places he's never been before, climbing on top of buildings, that kind of shit. And I did it. And part of that is because I stopped using social media as a crutch for my social skills. I actually started talking to people in real life and learning how to actually talk to people without being rude, or how to actually listen to people. And a great book for this is one, Captivate by Vanessa Van Edwards, that talks a lot about, it's a very modern take on how to talk to people, where to be at a party to have the best conversations, how to actively listen to people, and how to pay attention to people, how to make them feel heard. Another great one is a classic that I'm sure you've heard recommended, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Go check both of those out. But from having this more in-person interaction, I felt so much more connected to the people around me. And I've had so many more actual friendships develop from this, because I'm actually hanging out with people now. I'm actually going and doing fun shit rather than just seeing all the fun shit other people are doing. Because your social skills deteriorate over time if this isn't something that you keep up. If you are glued to social media every day for hours and hours, your brain gets fried in a sense where you can't exactly have present conversations because you're used to these dopamine spikes hitting you. And whenever you're in a conversation with somebody, it's just not hitting you with dopamine because it's just a face. But man, from not using social media, boy, do I love looking at faces. It's actually entertaining for me to see and to try and decipher the emotions that people are having while I'm talking to them. And I've heard from multiple people that I am the most emotionally intelligent person that they know. And I'm not trying to brag or bullshit right now, but just from not being on social media, I'm able to pay attention to people and see what they're the emotion that they're having behind what they're saying. Because I'm so honed in on this, I can say, hey, you said that, and I feel like you were a little bit down about it. This is something you're supposed to be happy about. Your boyfriend just graduated. Why are you, what's going on? And we can get into deeper conversations that way, because I understand when people aren't exactly, saying what they mean. And another huge thing that I talked about in yesterday's video is having more presence, right? So having more presence in your conversations, which is also something, kind of the point that I just went over. But being present in your conversation allows you to actually pay attention to people, know what they're saying, and know what they're meaning, and not just the words they say, but the meaning behind the words. Another huge one is I make much healthier social comparisons now. I think it's inevitable for you to make social comparisons just because that's how humans are. We compare ourselves to other people, so we put each other in some kind of social hierarchy, essentially. And I know that it's bullshit, and I know that it sucks, but that's just kind of how it works, right? This is something that people see, and if you are constantly comparing yourself to all the top 0.1% people that you see on social media, you're gonna feel like shit, right? Because you're like, oh my God, these people are so much better than me. This dude has a 10 out of 10 body that I don't have yet. This dude has fucking models in his Lamborghini, and I'm here sit alone on a Saturday night drinking wine in my dorm room. What the fuck, right? Sippy break. When you're constantly looking at these people who are at the top of the top, and because they're at the top of the top, they reach the most people, they get the most attention on social media. Either they're very valuable people or they're very dramatic people, in the sense that they can overdo parts of their life and their personality to get the attention of the media. These are the people that you're seeing, and these are the people that you're comparing yourself to. This is why you feel like shit about yourself. This is why you feel like shit, dude. Getting off social media will reset your social comparisons to be a lot more healthy. Honestly, whenever I was on social media, I did not have the brain power to think of other things, right? So instead of checking your phone and worrying about the conversation that people are saying, the thing you just posted, why you didn't get as many likes as last time, you're now going to be in the real world. You're going to improve your focus, not being constantly hit with that dopamine. You're going to actually be able to focus on the shit that matters, on improving your life, on going where you want to go, on achieving the goals you set out. It's 2023, bitch. What are your goals? Set some goals. And get off social media so that you can achieve them. At least have a healthier relationship with social media, right? Because I see that there's pros to it. You have the mental headspace now to work on things to better your life, now that you aren't as obsessed with social media. And so now that I've said all these fantastic things about not having social media, I'm getting back on social media. Why would I do that? Out of all the shitty things I just said about it, I'm going to set up a healthy relationship with social media, which I've never done before. I've either had like shit relationship or I've just completely cold turkeyed, not used it. I'm setting up a healthy social media balance because social media does have its advantages. So with social media, you have easy contact with a wide network, right? You meet a new person, you can say, hey, just add me on Instagram. And then they automatically see the things that you're up to. You can see the things that they're up to, the kind of person you are. For me personally, I have been told that my social media account makes me look like a serial killer. Because I have like one post on it, and it's from about 2 years ago. And I don't look anything like I used to in the picture. And I've heard from multiple people that it gives big serial killer vibes. So that's another reason that I'm getting back on at least a little bit to keep up, so that people know that I'm a real person, right? They don't find my social media and they're like, oh, red flag. And it allows you to keep up with, it allows others to keep up with you. So the things that you're doing, and whether this is something productive, can be up to you, right? So like I'm going to use social media to let people know about the music stuff that I have going on. I'm going to promote my music. I'm going to market more. I'm also going to let people know a little bit about social life, a little bit about what it's like to live day to day for me, because that shows personality. People know you're a real person, not a serial killer. So how can we use social media in a healthy way? Well, here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to set a time limit, and I'm probably not going to be using it every day just because I still feel like it's bullshit and it takes away my mental capacity. And I feel drained, honestly, every time I'm on it for long periods of time, because it just kind of snatches your attention and grabs you for, it can be 10 minutes, it could be an hour. It just depends on the day. But I'm going to set a time limit so that if I ever do start doom scrolling, I'll get that reminder and be like, hey, quit. You're on your shit right now, quit. And I'll be like, yeah, dude, I'm on my bullshit. Might be. And I'll just hop on off. I'm also only going to be posting and trying to minimally scroll. So maybe it's a dick move to not like go through and like other people's pictures, because like they're out here commenting on mine and liking mine, but I don't want to get sucked back into social media again. So I will post what I need to and then get the fuck off. It's my plan, at least. And then what I've also done is I've turned off all notifications for everything except comments, right? Because I don't need to know when people are liking my photo. Like, yeah, it feels good to see that this person likes your photo. It gives you social validation, but I don't want that, excuse me, I don't want that hit of dopamine from someone liking my shit in an online world when I could get the hit of dopamine from a real world interaction with someone. I want to actually have the mental energy, social capacity to be able to have those hits of dopamine from the real life shit. So the only reason that I'm keeping comments on is because I like to respond to people. So if they're commenting on my stuff, that's at least a bit of dedication to be like, hey, I like this, or this is something cool about this. I'll respond back. I'll give them a like. I'll say, hey, thank you. That's great. I love you. So I'm advocating that if you are one of the people who are doom scrolling on social media, take a break. Take a break from social media right now. Enough time to completely separate. So I would say about 3 months, until you stop getting the hits of dopamine, until your FOMO starts to die down a bit. I'd say 3 months is a good goal. And then after that 3 months, come back to it and see if this is something that really is important to you. Is it important to you to be on social media? Has your life gotten better or worse? And do you miss the benefits of social media, like having that online presence? And if so, then that is whenever you start implementing the healthy social media boundaries. I think that this complete break from social media is crucial because you need to be able to set up your life in a way where you get social interactions and start having a healthy lifestyle again without it before you go back on it and have it with it. So you need to stop being on social media so that you can actually talk to people in real life and that you actually start doing shit, because now that you don't have those hours of social media, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna be social? You're gonna go out and do spontaneous ass shit. You're gonna go on car rides. You're gonna go on night drives, listen to the best fucking music of your life with your best buddies who you just met, but are gonna become your best friends because you are now a social butterfly who makes friends like that. It'll be easy. I want that kind of life for you before you start getting on social media again. Because that's the kind of life that I've made for myself by not being on it. So it can be done. I want the same for you. And for making these new friendships, I will stress that you have to be the initiator. So you have to be the person going out there and saying, hey, do you want to hang out? Because if you just wait around for other people to say, like, let's go do something, or you don't want to be the first person to reach out, you will be lonely. You will be lonely because all these other bitches are on social media too. So be the initiator. Be the person who reaches out, because people are going to respect you for that. And they're going to say, thank you. I was wanting to do something tonight, but I had no idea what to do. Thank you for inviting me over to your place. Thank you for telling me, let's go on this drive. Thank you for taking me on top of this rooftop. This is a lovely view. Let's smoke a cigarette. Don't smoke cigarettes, kids. Once you have that life, you can get back on social media. Be sure that it's in a healthy way, though. If this video has helped you in some way, if you found it insightful, please drop a like down below, maybe even consider subscribing, and share it with someone who needs it. So act now and to become unstoppable.